Good morning. It is a gorgeous Saturday morning here. Look at that light coming in from my window. Oh my gosh. It's pushing about 10 o'clock in the morning. And after all that snow and those dreary, dreary days we've had for the past couple of days here in Northeast Ohio, it is absolutely gorgeous. With sparkly, sparkly snow. I know, you want to see, don't you? What a beautiful day. And the snow is sparkling like diamonds outside of my soon to no longer be liminal space. This is the last full day this room is going to look like it's been looking, sort of open with possibilities, because the contractors are coming tomorrow, and starting tomorrow they're going to turn this space into the bathroom of my dreams. So yes, you will see it. Absolutely. So what am I here for today? I'm so excited. Good morning. I'm so excited to be with you because my last post with my Band-Aid on my nose, I got such amazing, just loving and heartfelt comments. Thank you so much. You really make me want to push the envelope. So now I'm taking it a little bit further because here we go. Here's my nose. Yeah. No makeup, white hair, my jewels, and my nose. And you know what? We can do that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my nose out in public, and it's okay. It's so funny. Sherry Sutton, good morning, my darling. You are going to love today. You're going to love today. Sherry Sutton is one of my reinvention colleagues, and she is a guru of amazing, amazing acclaim. And so, Sherry, to have you here with me this morning, this is so perfect. Okay, so glorious, awesome, almost last day for my liminal space, soon to be the bathroom of my dreams. And I am using reinvention strategies to move forward with my exciting adventure of having them cut open my nose. Thank you, Sherry. We're gonna be taking some stuff out of this nose. Now, that is not something that normally people put on screen, right? We hide it. But you know what? I am the reinvention renegade. And you know what? We can reinvent every situation we face, and this is no different. So, what I want to share with you today, this is Keep It Simple Part 1. I will have some more details maybe tomorrow, but sometime between now and Wednesday when I will go, I'll be gone for a couple of days. But so Part 1 for Keep It Simple is using a reinvention strategy that I love. Now, it's called, my teacher, Dr. Nadia Zeximbaeva, calls it fear into action. And I call it the 3 buckets. So we're going to have the conversation and you're going to see exactly how both of those things are true. So in March of 2020, when my business tanked overnight with COVID, I met Dr. Nadia, and some of you already know this. And this is the first thing I learned. Now, what's wild about this is that what I call the 3 buckets, you can use it all the time. And I'm certainly using it with the situation with my nose. So I want to tell you what the strategy is, and then I'm going to show you how I'm using it. And so I have every confidence that you're going to have the same response I did, which is wow, and you can use it right away. So first things first, 3 buckets is understanding that stuff happens that sets you back and, kind of hits you in fear or anxiety or stress. Now, my business tanking overnight pretty much shut my mouth. I couldn't breathe. My news on Tuesday that there's more basal cell carcinoma in my poor little nose. There's not a lot of bridge on my nose right now. So and so the first step in this strategy is to feel whatever you're feeling. If it's fear, if it's upset, if it's whatever it is. So it took me 2 days to actually, get through that feeling. Typically, any emotion that hits you is going to last for 90 seconds. So yeah, the first emotion was like, and then I just had to process it. And we're all different in our processing styles. It takes us as long as it takes us. And so the feelings actually invites another strategy that I use all the time and that many of you have been watching me have seen over and over. And yeah, I'm going to bring it in again. Because everything that happens to you happens in your body. Fear happens in your body. And that's why, Dr. Nadia says, first thing, feel your feelings. Don't try and run away from them. Feel them. And that's something that I've proved over and over. And that's where this strategy comes from. Remember, here's your brainstem. Right here, nothing will get to your brain, to your understanding, until it gets past your brainstem, which is, are you safe or not? So your feeling hits, the feeling hit, It's like, okay, am I safe? Well, physically, I'm safe. It took me a couple of days to get that emotionally and mentally and spiritually, I'm safe. There are so many people, and I said this on my video last time, there are so many people with much bigger cancers than I have. So really, I'm safe. So that got me past my brainstem. And that got me to the amygdala right there, right? And that's where you make the choice. Is this good or bad? Well, I've been saying this for so many years. I've been saying no matter what happens to me, I can always use it for good. And I've got so many things that I thought were really awful at the time that I look back on and I realize they're part of my genius, they're part of my superpower. So this was relatively easy to go. Feels like crap, but you know what? It's going to be good. And it's going to be good for other people because I can use this for other people. And that got me to my frontal cortex, and that got me to the 3 buckets. So the 3 buckets are these. Number 1. Bucket number 1 is stuff you can't do anything about. It's outside of your power. So things that happen outside in the world, things that have happened in your past, things that have anything to do with anybody but you are bucket 1. Okay? Bucket 2 are things you can influence. And influence only happens in relationship. So if you want to influence something and you don't have a relationship with anybody involved, it goes right back into bucket 1 because there's nothing you can do about it. Bucket 3 is my favorite bucket, and that's the bucket we're going to be using today and the next maybe day or two with the rest of this. Keep it simple. And bucket 3 is everything that's all about you, your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors that you could absolutely do something about and you have full control over. So that's the strategy I want to share with you, and I want to show you how I'm using it so that you can use it for yourself. First piece is feel your feelings. Whatever it is, feel them. Most of the time, they'll last for 90 seconds. And then you can test them. Am I safe? Can I make this good? Because it feels like crap, but you know what? Maya says even crappy things can be used for good. And that'll get to your frontal cortex where you can decide what you want to do and use the 3 buckets. So first things first. Bucket number 1 for me, this situation, there's nothing I can do about the fact that in my mid-20s, I was a sailor in the U.S. Navy in beautiful, awesome San Diego, outside under the sky every day, sandblasting and painting submarines with no sunscreen. Because we didn't know. 1970 what? We didn't know. And there's nothing I can do about what has happened to my skin because of that time. Nothing to be done about it, so just move on. Bucket number 2. This is about things I can influence. Now, what can I influence about this situation? I could use it to influence other people's considerations. I could be a role model. I could say, here's what I'm going through, and maybe this will help you. I can absolutely influence in that way, and that's what Facebook Live is letting me do. So I'm thrilled about that. So I hope that when you see what I'm doing and you see what I'm coming through, because I'm going through it with you, I'm doing this in real time, that there's hope for you too. There was a woman in one of my groups just the other day, probably 2 days ago, who said, this is the worst 2 years of my life. She's got 3 different kinds of cancers in her body, and her doctors gave her, less than a year to live. She influenced me to understand that, oh my darling, there's way worse things going on in the world, and this is manageable. And she helped me shift my own state. Because, this is my face, right? So influence happens in relationship, and that's what I'm hoping we're going to be doing on Facebook Live. So bucket number 3 is everything that's all about what I'm doing. So everything I'm doing, you see my jewels, and I'm using them to feel beautiful no matter what happens to my nose. I don't know what my face is going to look like. And I can awfulize it, or I can say it's going to be easy. It's going to be, it's going to work. So I have lots of choices about what happens right now. And that's my bucket 3. So one of the things I'm going to be telling you about in the days to come, because, I like to keep these short so you stay with me, is what I'm doing physically to get ready for this. But the most important thing I can leave you with in bucket 3 today is that bucket 3 is all about how I take myself through this experience, and that's the most important thing. Good morning, Melanie. So, number 1, You have no control over most things in the universe. And the best thing you can do for your own mental health and your own level of stress is to let them go. Put them in bucket one and move on. Number two, you can influence other people only in relationship. So if you want to make things happen and it's not about you, it's about creating relationships and having conversations and understanding that people can say yes, no, or something else because, people will do what they do. And number three, you always have full control over what's in bucket three, and that is your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. And you always have a choice. And remember that reinvention is just about understanding change. We talked about this we've mentioned this a lot because it's one of the things I'm most passionate about. This space is going to change. My face is going to change. My age is going to change. We're all going to change. The point is, we can do it with joy or we can do it with fear. And I always invite you, if you're afraid, feel it, check it, and do something about it. Because I promise you, we always have the choice to do it in joy. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you so much for being in my liminal space. I'm so excited about what's going to happen. And isn't that cool? I'm so excited about getting my nose cut off. Listen, my nose is not going to get cut off. But you know what? That's a Freudian slip because that's the fear. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my nose? And you know what? It's still there. I'm still handling it. And my affirmation and belief and true story is that I will be fine, and we will be fine, and we'll go through this together. So no matter what's happening in your world today, I wish you joy and gorgeous weather and the knowledge that you always have a choice all the time. And I'm right there with you. I'm Maya Beatty, and I'll see you next time.